Good morning. My name is Deb from Just Do Something Homestead, and today we are going to find some ways to make your baby beanies a little bit more special. Over the last 2 weeks, I have shared some patterns for making baby beanies. Feel free to go back through my playlist and find these patterns in detail. We made a baby turban and then a standard beanie. And now at this point, we are going to learn how to decorate them and make them a little bit more special. For this project, you're going to need a baby beanie, some scissors, a crochet hook, and some yarn. Now I am going to start today with a smaller hook. I usually use a J. This is an H. I am going to start with a simple 5-petaled flower. All 3 of these shapes are going to start the same way. So you are going to start with a chain. So I'm going to go under and over. And if you followed me for a while, you'll know that I don't crochet into that magic circle. I just don't think it stays as secure and tight, and I don't want any of my projects to unravel, so I do not use that. All right, so you are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, I have a simple chain 3. After I chain my 3, I am going to slip stitch into that first stitch. So there's where I started. So I am going to go in there and do a slip stitch through both, just like that. Now, this is where most people think that hole is, but if you look, there's only one piece of yarn. You need to feel and go deeper so that you get both of those. All right, so I am going to put 5 single crochet into that first loop. Now notice I have 2 loops on my hook. That's how I know I'm at the center. So 5 single crochet. 1 into that same loop. 2, keep turning it around. 3, 4, and 1 more. 5. All right, 5 single crochet in that first loop. Now there is the tail that I had from starting, so I am going to cut that tail off. And I turn this over. This is actually the back side of it. So cut off my tail and turn my project over. All right, you can see where I cut off that tail. Now, the next thing you're going to do is chain 1 and slip stitch. So chain 1 and then slip stitch into that very first area. And you have a perfect circle. All right, we are going to start forming that flower, and the first stitch that I'm going to do is a slip stitch into that first space. And if you look at the top, you can see that V shape. That tells me that that was a single crochet, and that is indeed where I want to go through. So I am just going to do a slip stitch into it. Now I am going to do a half double crochet. So unlike the double crochet where I'd pull through 2, loop over and pull through 2, I am going to pull it through all 3 like that. Oh, I missed some. There we go. Now, in that same space, put 3 double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. And the last stitch in this petal is another half double crochet. So yarn over in that same hole, and it's getting tight. Now pull through all 3 loops. All right, and that's your first petal. Now I'm going to look for the next place, which again, you're going to look for that V shaped, and I'm going to slip stitch into that. All right, there is 1 flower petal. And on to the next petal. We have already slip stitched into that space right there. This is where we continue with the half double crochet, 3 double crochets, half double crochet. So start with a half, pull through all 3, then double, 1, 2, 3. And then the next one is another half. And that petal is done. So you find the next place and slip stitch. All right, I'm going to continue with 5 petals. Meet you on the other side. This is the last petal, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I just finished with a half double crochet. So at this point, I'm going to slide it over a little. You are going to slip stitch into that first stitch, pull it through the loop, and make a single, put in there, single crochet, like that. I'm going to cut another tail a couple inches long. And now I'm just going to pull that through that single crochet we just did and pull it tight. All right, now these flowers actually go this way. So you have 1 at the top, 2 on the side, and this is the tail that I'm now going to turn over and weave into my project. That simply means you're going to tuck it in to these stitches in the back. Now, since you're sewing it onto your hat, it's not really going to go anywhere. But I am going to pull it through a few stitches and then trim it off. Some people use a needle for this. I usually just use my crochet hook. And pull that tail. All right. And there's your first flower. Just like that. At this point, I am going to take my crocheted flower, place it on the front of this beanie, and hand stitch it. Now, there are a lot of people concerned about using buttons. And if you want to use a button as decoration, feel free. And if you don't, that is fine too. I have used the safety ones. I've used regular ones. I have never had a baby that was able to pull it off and choke on it. But definitely, if that's a concern of yours, then avoid the button. But you are going to sew the flower on the front. And then I do like to put a button in the center. It adds just a pop of color. And I will stitch that on the center as well. Now these little flowers are so quick, so easy. You can change the colors, you can change the button. You can do a lot to change your hat and make it a little bit more special. Our next shape is the bear shape. For this project, I am using brown cotton yarn. We are going to start the same as all the other projects, so I am going to put a loop at the beginning of my yarn, under, over, just like that, and pull it tight. Now I am going to chain 3. I tried to keep these projects starting the same way, so once you've learned a skill, you have it. All right, so chain 3, and then I'm going to go into that first loop and make a slip stitch, just like that. I am placing 10 half double crochets in that center loop. Now you're going to yarn over. You're going to have 3 loops on your hook and pull through all 3, just like that. So I'm going to put 10 of those in that center loop, and a lot of this is by feeling for that loop. That's 2. Can't get through. There we go. 2. Now, just like I did, if it starts to get tight and you feel like you're not going to get all 10 in there, just keep scooching it over. That's 2, 3, and you're going to keep going in that circle until you have 10 in the loop. I am going to slip stitch into that first loop that we made. Oops, you want 2. There we and slip stitch. Now I have a full circle. At this point, I'm going to increase by putting 2 half double crochet stitches in each loop. So you're going to have those 2 on your crochet hook. Let me show you. That was the first one. I may have gone a little fast for you. All right, so when you're looking at your crochet that you've done, you're going to look for that V. So I am going to yarn over and go through. So I have 2 on my hook, just like that. Pull it through. Now I want 2 stitches in each one. So that was 1 and 2. Next stitch, 1 and 2. And you're going to go around the circle and put 2 half double crochets in each space. I have 2 half double in each stitch, and now I'm going to slip stitch back to the beginning. So into that one with a slip stitch. Perfect circle. We are going to start on the first ear. So I've slip stitched into that space. So we have a big space right there. Now I'm going to chain 1 and then do a half double crochet in that same loop. So half double crochet. So I have a chain 1, half double crochet. Now 3 double crochets, same loop. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we had a chain 1, 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, and now I'm going to put another half double crochet and a slip stitch. So that just comes in and immediately goes through like that. And that is your first ear. Now some people cut it off here. If I can do a project without cutting it off, I find that to be a full advantage. So I'm going to slip stitch going across between the ears into the next 4 spaces. So it's just like doing a single crochet, except it's only a slip stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches in between the ear, and that is all slip stitch. And now I can make the next ear. So that was 4. I'm going to slip stitch into the 5th one. Then chain 1. After that, 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, then a half double crochet, you're almost done, and the last one is a slip stitch. So I've slip stitched through there. I'm going to make a single crochet and cut off my loop, giving a couple inches. I ended with a single crochet, and now I'm just going to pull it through and tighten it. And there is my bear. All right, same thing. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to start pulling the thread across the back of it. So I'm going to weave in the edge. And for this one, I'm just going to stitch the bear onto the hat. I'm not going to put a button in the center. Sometimes you can use those safety eyes, and you could put 2 eyes, but I found if I'm using a dark color like this brown, you're not going to see those 2 eyes. Now, if I was using tan, then I may use the safety eyes. I think it would add something really cute. So on to the next hat. For the last hat, I am going to make the heart shape. Now this one has a new stitch in it. It is the treble crochet, but it is super easy, and I think you'll find out that you'll love making hearts. We are going to start just like the other 2. So around your finger twice, go under and over, and pull tight. All right, now I'm going to chain 3 and slip stitch to form a circle, just like the other 2. This time we are going to chain 2. 1 and 2. This is where we come in with the treble crochet. You are going to, let me get that tail out of the way. All right, go around the yarn and around the yarn. So you have 3, 1, 2, 3 on your hook, and then insert it into the center of the loop. Wiggle it around so you can get it in there. All right, so pull it on through. Now we've got 4 loops on there. So you're going to go through 2. Now you have 3. Through 2 and through 2. That forms that treble crochet. We have 1 treble crochet on there. We are going to add 2 more. So you want 3. So yarn over, stick it through. Same circle. You always want to stick it in the same circle that we started in. Tighten it up a little. All right, through 2, through 2, through 2. And that is 2 stitches. All right. Into the same circle. 2, 2, and 2. And at this point we have 3 treble crochets. In the same circle, I want you to put 3 double crochets. So in that same circle, it's going to get tight. It's okay. 3 double. 1. And that's going to change the height of those stitches. That's how you form the heart. 2. 1 more. 3. So we have 3 treble and 3 double. Now chain 1 and put 1 treble crochet in the bottom of our heart. 1, 2, 3. And you can see, if I turn it around, you can start to see the shape of our heart. Now we're going to start going up the other side. So you're going to chain 1. And this time you're going to put 3 double crochet. Now I still have my tail going around this loop. That is fine. So I'm just holding it out of the way. And so 3 double crochet. And it gets tight, but it is fine. All right, 1. 2. 3. All right, so we have 3 double crochet. I'm going to push them down a little. And it looks like that. And we left off with 3 double. Now we want 3 treble, and that's my little tail there. I'm going to work him in. Oops, got to yarn over twice. Trying to get that tail in. Okay. 2, 2, 2. There's 1. I don't use this stitch very often, so I have to continually think, oh, need another loop on there. There's 2. And another one. And 3. At this point, I am going to chain 2, 1, 2, slip stitch back into that original center. So I pull it through, wiggle it around so you can get it through there. Got mine caught on something. There we go. Woo. And single crochet. So put it in and and pull through both. Like that. All right, so I slip stitched and put a single crochet. I cut it off, and like my other two projects, I'm just going to pull until it goes through, and then pull that tight. And look at that cute little heart. Turn it over and weave in the loose ends. I always start really close to where I caught it. And you don't have to do a lot. I usually do about 3. So that's 2. And I just move towards the center so it doesn't come out along the side. Like that. This is the back of it. And I'm going to cut off that tail. And there's your first heart. And honestly, that was less than 2 minutes. I'm going to place the heart in the center of my hat and hand stitch it. And there you have it, friends. 3 different ways to decorate your beanies, whether you're using the flower shape, the heart shape, or the bear. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day. Bye-bye.